Welcome to iHeartGeek. And welcome to another edition of iHeartGeek.
Wow, are we suddenly like being broadcast somewhere important?
Do I sound that good? Is that what you're saying, Jason?
Yes, actually.
Maybe I should try doing this for the whole show. Ow, that hurts. I don't know if I'm going to do that. So today we are discussing anti-heroes.
Really?
Anti-heroes.
Nice.
Yeah, the opposite of heroes, but not.
Right there, my brain just had a mild explosion because they're not the opposite heroes because that's the villain. The villain is the opposite of the
they're
hero.
not.
Well, I looked up the definition of anti-heroes.
It's
basically someone who does not. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, because what is Webster's?
Go ahead, anyway? Webster.
Webster's dictionary defines.
It's people. They don't act in a heroic manner or the archetype of the heroic manner,
Right.
Like Superman would be the hero because he's got a moral code. But again, reading it, it's kind of like all of my comic book. It's really vague.
Yeah, we're definitely having some stuff to discuss when we go over what is an anti-hero.
Yeah. Yes.
So before I introduce y'all, today's iHeartGeek is brought to you by The Line. Know where the line is at all times.
And then cross it if you're an anti-hero.
Well, or don't cross it because even they know where the line is. And there's lines they don't cross.
I suppose.
Well, I think
We'll
that might
get
be the
into that.
difference between the anti-hero and
They
the
have a
hero.
line and a villain doesn't.
Right. Right. So that...
Okay.
Let's remember that little.
Yeah, we're
that
definitely going to come back. So we have our another resident guest type.
Hey,
he's been here a few times now.
Yeah.
We have K-Brew. How you doing, bud?
Because no one else can show up.
Yeah, I know. No, really?
Wow.
Kidding.
You come on.
Oh,
Gentleman drives all the way across town. You
that's
insult
a long
him.
drive,
What the heck?
I had to put gas in the car. It took me 2 hours. 2 hours. Oh,
I think that Jason owes you at least an adult beverage.
Coffee. I was doing the Scott Pilgrim reference there.
Yes. 2 hours.
2 hours. Wrong show. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, he was just on our, you just heard it last week, our Scott Pilgrim movie show.
Yes.
Yes. I'm liking doing those movie things, and I think we're going to do those at least once a month now.
They were fun.
Yes.
It was fun. Yeah.
Yes, we're going to keep it up. It was a really fun group of people. You added a lot, and Carl came in, was fantastic, and Kosh, and wow. Have you guys noticed how much moving there's been at the table lately? Okay, speaking of that ominous segue.
I'm not going anywhere.
No, he's not. We have my good buddy PB&Jason.
Yeah, I'm definitely an anti-hero.
The Rock.
Because he won't go away.
So it won't go away. Right. Because I can't get off this chair.
Weird moral code that he lives by that I still haven't figured out yet.
He has to show up to iHeartGeek every week.
Right.
That's his moral code.
Exactly.
Sweet.
And then give Dub crap. I think that's
like my motivation.
it is.
That's the line that I have to cross.
That's what makes you live.
Yes.
Yes, makes you
exactly.
keep going.
Yes.
So let's see. Yeah, that was our introduction. Let's do a very special one-off Who Beats Who.
And now it's time for a showdown.
Okay, on today's very abbreviated, once again, we're doing a lot of these abbreviated ones. Who Beats Who? We're doing Deadpool versus Lobo.
Just viciously stole my segment and started inserting
spontaneous. Yeah, then I took someone else's segment and gave it to you today. So shut your pie hole. Hey, do you want to do the segment there, K-Brew? You have Who Beats Who. You tell us who won today.
Okay, all right, cool. Okay, because admittedly, I'm not very familiar with Lobo.
Oh, really?
So yeah, you can.
He's the main man.
He's the main man.
Okay.
He's got at least
So
some segment appropriation going on here.
Yeah, I just throw it back to him just
Okay.
just
Right.
just so that you couldn't have me to gripe about.
bam.
Okay, let's move it around for a second. Let's go over who Lobo is and Deadpool is. Lobo is a space alien that looks like he should be in the Hell's Angels.
Yes.
He has taken down Superman. He has
kicked Superman to nuts.
Yes, he has, because that's the kind of guy he is.
Yes.
Well, so we're like crossing
the two big companies.
Okay. Yes, we do that.
He's
a lot.
Lobo is a DC offering.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And Deadpool is a
Dark Horse.
well, that too. Well, he was stolen from a Dark Horse. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Stolen from a DC character.
Now, Lobo probably he has a healing factor. I don't know.
It's insane.
Is it better than Deadpool's?
Yes.
How much better?
He could be reduced to an ash and he would regenerate.
Okay, because there was the time that his head was cut off and he didn't come back for years.
Again, remember writers, man. Writers and regeneration. There's been times where Deadpool has been kind of in the Wolverine-ish, but then again, Wolverine too. It's like the writer gets a hold of it, they can make it as strong or as weak as they want it to.
Or as believable.
So let me throw on the perimeters to this to make this fair. They're in an abandoned city.
Okay.
So they have all the urban environment to work with, and they're not going to worry about killing anybody because neither of them would care. And let's say that it's to stop, not to kill, because you can't kill either of these characters. So, with that being said, Jason does not agree.
Did you ever see Wolverine Origins?
Oh, yes,
they
and he
killed
came back.
Deadpool.
Nope, he came back, and we don't count that one because it's bad. Because if you watch the after credits, he opens his eyes and goes, "Shh." Yep, we'll watch that after. If you want to, I'll play it for you afterwards. I don't want to see that. No, we're good.
I didn't stay for the after credits on that.
Yeah, and we don't call that Deadpool. That doesn't count,
right?
Because that's evil. Yes. So who do you give this to? What's the strengths? What's the weaknesses, Jason? Since you're the guy on this,
I got to be honest. To me, this fight is Lobo, Splat, Deadpool next. To be honest. Lobo splats Deadpool.
Really?
Yes, because this is the guy who downed Superman with a nut shot. Mm-hmm. He's going to take Deadpool. I mean, Deadpool
will do the same thing,
but Deadpool does not have. Again, we're going to get down to the strength and the durability, and Lobo just outclasses him by a factor of a gazillion in this.
I think you're exaggerating a little bit, but okay, we can go with that.
So honestly, Deadpool. If Deadpool could even damage him, which I don't even think he could, Lobo, without even having to pick up a weapon, just smashes him into putty. And maybe he'd regenerate from putty eventually, but it's pretty much done.
Okay, cool.
Well, I will say Deadpool's faster. I mean, that's which I think will make for a better fight. I don't think it's going to be a splat fest. Whether either of them really hurt, I think Deadpool does get hurt, yes, but I don't think Lobo's going to get hurt per se. So Lobo will win this, but I don't think it's going to be a splat fest. I see this going on for a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because Deadpool's going to run and he's going to be...
Yeah, but more importantly, who has the best one-liners?
Wow,
no.
That one's
tough.
Oh.
Yeah, I highly recommend
probably
checking out Lobo.
Probably Deadpool.
Yeah,
by a little bit.
It depends on the writers, though.
Yeah,
depends on the writer.
Well, it also kind of depends. I mean, Lobo's strength and durability has been varied greatly from writer to writer too. That's what I was saying. Lobo.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said Deadpool.
No. So if you get a
median of it,
a weaker version of the Lobo, then your 10-minute thing applies.
Yeah.
If you get the Superman downed by the kick, Lobo, this fight is over in a second and a half.
Do you think there comes a point when a character being too strong just kind of makes it boring?
Well, if you put him up against a character that isn't a challenge, then yes,
right.
But if you put it up against a character of equal measure, then it's almost like.
But I mean, if he downs Superman with a nut shot, because Superman arguably could go up against the Hulk and they could.
Well, Superman has come back and pounded him to oblivion a couple times since.
All right.
Yeah.
But that was more he caught him by surprise.
Oh.
Well, I'll say this: if this comic book is easily a six issue miniseries, if written by, let's say, Jeff Johns,
right?
And I think that would be a fantastic. Yes, Lobo wins at the end, but I don't see it as like a splat.
If you could give Deadpool somehow a way of him to at least temporarily,
well, he's going to have his weapons. We never took any of that away.
No, I'm saying the weapons wouldn't hurt Lobo. But if you could get Deadpool a little bit of super strength temporarily, just for this miniseries,
okay,
then you have a fight.
You know what might be an original? Give Deadpool an armored suit that he plugs into the city, and a kryptonite.
Didn't they do that with Batman once?
That is an original idea.
I've never heard of that. You should write comics, Gabriel.
I know, man.
The Merc with a Mouth returns.
Right.
Oh, maybe what's
maybe
that?
Mark Millar, Frank Miller.
Frank Miller could write it.
That would be awesome.
Oh, and we both were on the same page on that.
Actually, that might be really, really funny if you just have Deadpool as the retired Batman and just lampoon the whole series.
Mark Millar, I know you do listen to this show. If we can make this happen, I will pay any amount of money for these books.
Well, the thing about certain characters, Batman, Deadpool, Punisher, what have you, they usually have those fanboy service things, and they did have Deadpool defeats the Marvel Universe.
Yeah,
as one of those comics.
All of them.
That, defeats everybody. Because it was more and evil.
He defeated
Deadpool.
all the zombies and all the Deadpools from all the universes.
Yeah, so
interesting.
It's kind of like Rick and Morty, like the whole Rick and Morty.
Where do you think Rick and Morty gets their ideas? They're comic book based.
Yes,
no matter how you look at it.
Anyway,
so I guess we're just calling this a win for Lobo.
For me,
it just depends on how
I say Lobo squashes him.
I say Lobo, but not a squash.
I'm just going with Deadpool just because.
Yeah, you need to be contrary,
right? Because again, I not being very familiar with Lobo and liking the whole Deadpool thing.
Yes,
okay, I have some books I'll let you read if you remind me afterwards. Okay,
right.
So let's move on.
Speaking of Lobo, you need to read. I've given you that stack of books I've had forever.
I've read half.
Read Lobo versus the Mask.
Okay, that
is one of the absolute best crossovers you've ever read.
Is that like Jim Carrey Mask or?
It's the character. It's the comic character, the Mask,
which is profane.
Who Jim Carrey's Mask was based on.
Right. Who is he? Jamie Kennedy.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about that one. that's sort of like Wolverine Origins.
I seriously
it just doesn't
love
happen.
really like horribly bad things. I mean, I love terrible music and bad comic book adaptations.
I think we need to do it. That could be a definite supplemental one of these days. Bad comics.
Yes,
I think we're going to do that. Yes, all the things we hate.
Caber will bring his entire collection.
But there's got to be some kind of redeeming factor about it, where it's like this is so bad that this is awesome.
Like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Right. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, something like that.
Yes.
Anyway,
yes. Okay, so, now can I move on, guys? Can I please?
You'll get used to this the more he's on the show. Trust me.
So we have our very important question on kind of how this all works. What is an anti-hero? We've already been debating it to start. Jason, I know you had some thoughts that I know. Jason's not going to be shy on the mic usually. I think he's got something to say this time.
I don't know, guys. No, kidding.
Did you just become a teenager?
Yeah. Your son inspired me. He
did good.
He did. Okay, so I was thinking about this. The definition that K-Brew gave at the beginning of the show was pretty spot on, I think. So a vigilante, all right, is a someone operating outside of the approval of the law, doing heroism, I guess. That would be your vigilante.
Okay.
A heroic vigilante is someone like Spider-Man, Daredevil.
Okay.
Someone that we may mention later, in my opinion. Versus a hero like Superman, an obvious hero, Thor, an obvious hero, things like that. Wonder Woman, correct, an obvious hero. Where you get into the anti-hero is when the vigilante uses the tactics of a villain.
But who's to say who that belongs to, though?
Well, I think that there are what society, I guess, would call tactics of a villain would be wanton murder, as an example.
What one person calls wanton murder, another person would call pragmatism.
Another person might call the electric chair.
Again, I'm not saying that isn't the case, but I'm saying villainous methodology.
Right.
Versus heroic methodology. Again, vigilantes are not their actions are not approved by the law, quote.
Yeah, but that seriously half of 80% of everything in the comic books would fall under that.
I would probably say that 80% of superheroes are vigilantes.
Right.
To be honest, I mean, unless you're someone like Superman who, it's like, who's going to argue?
Well,
Listen, I don't have any Batman would argue.
Batman
yes,
would
he would
argue.
argue about anything.
So
right.
just if they have the power to back it up, it's okay.
Again, I think
it's how they choose. But it's how
I
they
think
choose
it
to use
actually
the
comes
power,
down
Because
to
Lex Luthor, if you look at his mind, according to some people, he's the good guy. Because this alien is here.
But there's a whole nother thing even beyond
saying,
the anti-hero, and that's the villain that sometimes does heroic things,
like Magneto
or Doctor Doom, or Lex Luthor.
All the mutants technically are outside of the law.
Right.
So are the anti-heroes the heroes?
Again, I think it's if you incorporate what are considered, I'd have to say, by a general society, villainous techniques.
Right, which Wolverine would probably fall
Yes,
under.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Deadpool,
wanton murder, assault, maybe. I don't know, because superheroes beat the crap out of people all the time.
Yeah.
So that one's kind of hard.
Maybe it's
Maybe theft or,
yeah.
again, villainous. I mean, the main one is murder. It kind of seems like the line in comics between anti-hero and vigilante.
But I mean, what would you constitute murder? Would it be just like wanton, or hey, this guy's in my way, I need to kill him?
Again, there you're subject to the whole interpretation thing.
Right.
Remorseless murder.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if it's for a cause.
Well, how I look at it in the simplest of terms is this hero, if they're going out on a mission, and 9 times out of 10 you can trust them, but you're always afraid of that one time, or even 99 times out of 100 you trust them, but that one time out of 100 they're going to step out of line and do something evil, something that's not that helps them more than you. I'll put it that way, them more than society. That I think would be the most simple definition of anti-hero.
I think it's almost
usually they do the right thing.
It's like a wild card.
Kind of, but I think it's almost
like Charlie Kelly from Always Sunny.
Oh wow, really?
I think it's almost like if your villain techniques are more of your norm, but heroism is the result. That's kind of the anti-hero, because you are.
Let's break it down in alignments.
Break it down.
Oh, what are anti-heroes?
Anti-heroes would probably be like
chaotic neutral,
or chaotic good.
Do we need like a 10-sided die for this?
I'd say chaotic neutral, leaning toward
on
chaotic neutral with evil tendencies.
Chaotic neutral, even so, you would consider neutral to be like the anti-hero, like a neutral-ish based alignment.
I think you'd have to be at least. Yeah, I think it would have to be.
Okay.
I think you have to have good intentions, but whatever you think that you need to do to accomplish what you think
but
is
it's
right,
also
is
tricky
it.
too, because villains can have love and compassion. I mean, Kingpin
Right.
loves his wife.
That's fantastic.
And Magneto has a lot of compassion for the mutants.
Right.
It just depends which side of the law you're on, I guess.
Yeah, Doctor Doom is a vicious dictator, but he has a compassion for Latverian people.
So Superman Red Sun, exact same morals, but on the other side, so he's a villain.
I guess
No, he's just a Russian Superman.
But it's a point.
But, I mean,
if you're
if you
Russia,
read how it's read-
it's like, hey, check it out. Here's our answer to
Superman.
yeah,
It's Superman.
Right. Yeah, to me he was just the same hero, just Russian.
I think it was the same hero, but they definitely colored him as a lot more on the other side.
Only because
the
traditional Cold War enemy.
So you think like politics would play a kind of a
Because that changes constantly.
it could, sure.
Well, Green Arrow at one point was more of an annoyance, and now he's a spokesman.
Right. Well, yeah, because if you look at the whole mutants being outlaws, it is kind of a whole political thing. Because like if that wasn't the case,
right?
Everyone would be like, oh, mutants, hey, check it out.
Are you saying it's a analogy for something else?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Ask Stan Lee about that.
It's a strange. I always thought the mutants were a strange analogy too, because same world that the Fantastic Four lives in,
right?
Who are mutants, and yet everybody loves them.
Yeah. But the difference is one hides their identity and the other doesn't, and I think that might have something to do with it too.
Yeah, but I mean, are they? Well, I guess they've been mutated, but were they?
Spider-Man and Fantastic Four. Okay, they weren't born. They weren't born mutants, yeah. But they were mutated.
Right.
So they have become mutants.
But Spider-Man had to deal with fake news. So.
right. But then again, though, what do you call? They were after Spider-Man, so I mean, technically, he could be considered an anti-hero.
Absolutely. Well, there was a time the whole Justice League and Justice League War, the whole government and the cops and everything else were after all of them. They were the bad guys.
So Spider-Man is not an anti-hero. He's a vigilante. But a heroic vigilante.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it depends on.
But this is a big semantics argument.
His methods are not villainous.
Right.
That's the difference. But let's take Venom. Okay.
But again,
Venom is considered now an anti-hero, even though in my mind I still think of him more as a villain.
Yeah.
But then again, I only was really familiar with Eddie Brock. Right. I wasn't familiar with the.
You need to read the new one. Venoms. I like him a lot better. Flash Thompson.
But Eddie Brock, who eventually didn't become good, but fell into the anti-hero category by choosing to still utilize his methods that were pretty ruthless, but for the cause of heroism.
It's kind of like Bane, then, right?
Yeah, he's been alongside Batman before.
Yeah.
Right, Juggernaut changed,
So let me ask you this question, and we're going to kind of wrap at the moment. Can an anti-hero become a hero, or can a hero become an anti-hero? Or once you're set, you're set. I think a hero could become an anti-hero, but an anti-hero could never become a hero again because their past is always with them.
I think if you made the commitment that you were not going to go back to your villainous methodology, then you could eventually earn that title.
Because then that's implying that there's no redemption.
True.
And kind of anything.
But it's not just redemption. I think that, especially as far as heroes goes, I can't recall anybody that went from anti-hero to straight up hero, because there's also consequences for your actions, even in your past, and it's hard to ever get past those consequences. You still have to deal with them.
Yeah,
right.
Just a
weird
2 cents worth. Yeah. So I don't know. Can you think of anybody that went from anti-hero to hero? I think some that went from hero to anti-hero. I can't think of anybody that went the other way. If you're a villain,
I can, and I there's an argument for one of my top 5.
Okay,
and we'll
get to that one. Okay, so let's move on to the newly Jason fronted for this week, 3366.
66% truth, 33% lies. Can you tell the difference?
Okay, 3366. This is 2 truths and a lie, our version of it.
Yeah.
Where we pull up 3 facts. 2 of those facts are true, and 1 of them is an untrue fabrication, bold-faced lie.
You messed me up on that one.
I threw you off on purpose.
You threw me off. You're such an anti-hero, Jason.
I am, exactly. So, speaking of anti-heroes, this 3366 is all about probably the pinnacle anti-hero, Frank Castle's The Punisher.
Outstanding. Frankencastle?
Frank Castle. All right, and here are the 3 random facts.
Okay.
Random fact number 1. Before Stan Lee greenlit the name The Punisher, creator Jerry Conway called him the Assassin.
Okay.
Random fact number 2. The original Punisher in Marvel was a robot that served Galactus. Random fact number 3. In The Amazing Spider-Man 129, which is the character's first appearance, he is the antagonist of Spider-Man. He's the antagonist of Spider-Man because Spider-Man is wanted for the apparent murder of Dr. Otto Octavius. Gentlemen, which one is the lie?
I hate you.
All right, we have results of the 3366.
Okay.
There were stumped faces. There were cringing facial expressions.
A lot of that,
there was that blank 1,000-mile stare of which one of these could it be?
1,000-yard stare.
And you both gave the same answer of number 3.
And they're both...
Which you believe is the lie. The Spider-Man being wanted for the murder of Dr. Otto.
Can I tell you why I
Sure.
Because that sounded feasible. Everything else sounded really wacky.
But you're picking number 3 as the lie.
I'm picking number 3 as the lie.
Okay. You both are correct.
Oh, yes.
Bam.
Okay.
Because there's way too much detail in number 3.
Well, no, actually, everything about number 3 is true.
Except it was Daredevil.
Except it was Norman Osborn.
Oh, Norman Osborn. What?
And Tombstone was involved in that story.
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah.
So number 1, Jerry Conway called him the assassin, is true.
That is true.
Number 2, the original Punisher in Marvel was a robot to serve Galactus. Also true. The third one, he was wanted for the murder of the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, not Dr. Octopus. So congratulations, gentlemen. I thought I had you, but you guys both
That was
pulled it off.
just, in all fairness, that was just
That was a lucky
blind
guess.
luck.
I'm not going to lie, that's a lucky guess. But as far as you doing the 3366, you are 0 for 2.
For you?
No, period. No matter what, he's 0 for 2.
Oh, okay. So he did, because he fooled me last time when I was.
But he's never beat everybody.
Okay.
Did you?
No, not yet.
Oh.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
You won the last one. Dub
Sweet.
won the last one.
Yes, that felt so good.
See, now this is why he wants me to do this.
Oh,
for
yeah.
you.
Yeah, because I win on him. So, well, otherwise it's me or you that wins the.
Right.
So it's kind of nice, I get my competition away. It helps.
Nice.
Okay, so let's move on to this question. We were kind of tiptoeing around this because I know we all want to talk about this. Is Batman an anti-hero?
No.
No.
opinion,
Okay,
no.
Why do you say no?
Because again,
He's definitely outside of the law.
he's outside of the law. But again, the definition of the vigilante is I think really what separates him, and the fact that he does have a line that he will not cross, ever.
Okay.
To the point of probably losing fights.
Well, so does let's say Deadshot. No women, no children. That is a severe line for him, but I'd still call him definitely a villain.
But
because just because you have a line doesn't mean the line's in the right place.
But what is Deadshot's modus operandi? Is that the modus?
That sounded
operandi?
good.
Modus operandi.
Whatever.
You sound so smart.
Awesome.
I know. I read some books.
Them paper things or them bleepy things?
No, the paper things.
I can't.
They're called books.
I seriously tried to
read my book how many times on audio and you haven't done it yet.
I can't do it.
When are you going to make an audiobook? Make it easier for us.
Hey, man, we got the technology. Let's do it.
Yeah. No, I'm going to do a paper book.
Between both of
first.
us, I think we have studio
Right, and
time.
he's got a Zoom. He can do it himself. He can just sit there
Yeah, I
and-
know. I've been pushing him on that thing forever.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, now I guess we'll get off Jason. Now go ahead, Jason. You didn't agree.
Okay, it's a very close. He's very close. I say that for someone who I actually don't consider an anti-hero, because I don't consider Batman an hero, he comes closer to that line than anyone else I can think of. Daredevil, sort of, but no, Batman comes very close.
Why?
Because he's insane. Actually, I think that's what it boils down to, is that he's not mentally stable.
Okay.
And I think that is actually why he has some of the hangups he has. Like, he won't put the Joker down for good. He won't put really any of his rogues down for good. But then
neither will
out
Flash.
But then out of the blue, he'll do like what he did to who was it? KG Beast. where he left him to die, even though I know that he didn't die. They retcon that kind of,
but they always do
because it was controversy. Actually, that writing. When
he killed Joker, in that one movie that's canon, right?
Yeah, but then again, in Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah. It's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah.
And in the Batman cinematic presentations, they've definitely made him anti-heroic because he's committed wanton murder in several of the films.
Yeah, but Yeah, but that was a huge controversy, and that was
I know.
But
these murders, are they justified? And I think if we as a public feel it's justified, hey,
I don't know.
Anti-hero, I guess.
I think if it comes down to it, like the question posed to me, do you think Batman is an anti-hero? I think the answer I would have to honestly give is maybe.
Fair enough.
I guess it would depend on context too. If you look at the cinematic Batman,
yes,
then yeah, it's you would have to maybe consider him
anti-hero.
An anti-hero.
Well, like with the branding people and all that other stuff.
Yeah, but again, but that because to me, when movie directors get a hold of a property,
comic book property,
they want to put their own spin on it. And Christopher Nolan, I thought, did a really good job. I don't think Zack Snyder. I mean, even though
I don't either.
I think I like Batfleck, but I don't necessarily.
I like the way that he looked. I thought he did a good job. I don't think that it was a good representation of Batman. I'm curious to see what happens in Justice League because he's supposed to lighten up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think
they should be more like Wonder Woman.
Well, they should have never in Batman versus Superman. They should have never cut and paste Dark Knight Returns and Death of Superman.
Yeah, because you can't never
drop those in.
You can never bring those now to.
No, you can't give them the right story that they deserve. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the DC universe will be better for Zack Snyder being away from it.
Visually interesting director, but
no, honestly, he was good for Watchmen.
Yeah,
but
I
not
Watchmen
for Batman. I think because they are such different properties.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Watchmen. I know that Alan Moore did he not see
He
it?
hates everything.
Yeah, but I dug the movie. I thought it was great.
He's like Mikey with the Life cereal. Alan Moore hates everything.
Right.
Yes. And someday I think he'll have to see something with an NC-17 rating and a lot of witchcraft, and then maybe he'll be okay with it.
Well, Alan Moore and Christopher Tolkien, go play tennis together because they both hate everything.
Yeah. Christopher Tolkien.
Yeah.
I love what he's done, but then again, it's kind of like, come on, just
lighten up, dude.
Lighten up, come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's the verdict? You say
I say maybe.
Maybe.
You know what, though? Again, there does pose a strong argument being an anti-hero. I think that the Batman that I like, is more vigilante and less anti-hero. But I mean, honestly, I can probably live with it either way.
Yeah. The Batman I like is almost established.
K. Bruce is the Batman we all love and all need.
Right.
Actually, the Batman the Animated Series, which you have no excuse for not watching that.
Really?
Except I'm 46.
You can even at 46 and someone who loves Batman, you want to see what I consider to be the perfect Batman representation. It's that show.
Again, I think that is that right line.
You guys are talking about Mark Hamill as being the perfect Joker. Cesar Romero is always.
I quit. Okay.
Mustache and all.
Yeah, because he refused to shave that stash. It was that important.
Oh, God, that is so awesome. I love that.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, if you take the 90s out, I think it's a lot less vigilant, a lot less anti-hero and more vigilante. But the 90s made, just like everything else, tougher, more violence.
Yeah, I mean.
Right.
Well, yeah, when was Dark Knight?
86? Lots of armor and pouches showed up in the 90s.
But this is my 2 cents. What makes him a vigilante and not an anti-hero would be that if he really didn't have the morals to be a hero, he would have killed the Joker immediately when he killed Jason Todd.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Well, no, his heart is in the right place.
Mm-hmm. Well, even
if his brain is.
Oh, he's at the very minimum schizophrenic.
And would the work he does with Wayne Enterprises?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would that be kind of go towards his being a vigilante and not an anti-hero because he does a lot of good with
that? I'd say that makes him a hero. Not even
a hero. That's why I can't definitely say that he's an anti-hero because he's mostly not. He's mostly a heroic vigilante. It's just he gets so close to that line.
Right. Well, that's what makes it, I think, makes him compelling.
Right.
But also, I think that when written incorrectly, it is what makes a lot of people mad because it's like, no, he shouldn't be doing this. He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be there shouldn't be guns on the Batwing.
Batmobile, or the Batwing, right?
You know, everything should be kind of like non-lethal. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, so again, I guess it would depend on the universe.
I think we like the same Batman. I think we want that that tough, you know, ruthless fighter of crime,
right?
That won't cross the
the
line.
pragmatic,
yes.
the pragmatism of Batman, like Batman and Kingdom Come. It was really
well
good.
written. Yes, definitely.
So let's do this. This is when we get to go out to Facebook. This will be the poll for the week when we release this show. Which Batman, or do you feel Batman is an anti-hero, a vigilante, or a hero? I think that's a pretty. I'll be interested to hear the answers on this one.
Me too.
Because we didn't come up with jack on answers on this. We literally tiptoed around that and well, it could be. So let's hear with people that actually have the huevos to make a decision. Let me hear what your decision is on this one, guys. You're awesome.
Like I said, just to my last 2 cents. I think that. It really does depend on, like I said, the universe that it's in. I mean, it's so complex. I think you got to kind of choose what Batman you want to follow,
right? Because there are so many variations on a theme.
Yeah.
When it comes to Mr. Bruce
there needs
Wayne.
to be because it's almost 100 years, 85 years or something now.
Something like that.
So it has to be, and I'm happy with that. I'm glad that they changed with the times. To a degree,
but when they go to that line, when the wrong writer gets Batman, it makes it again. It makes it towards like that's not the real Batman. It's like a Batman clone or whatever.
But that's when I stopped reading for a while too.
Yeah.
And that's just I never have an issue.
But
with
honestly,
that.
it's mainly in the cinematic universe. So.
Yeah,
right. Agreed.
But you still need to go see all the superhero movies because we got to keep these things going, guys. Because if you guys stop going, they're going to stop making them, and then we got to watch a Superman movie every 15 years or something.
I don't think there's any danger in that. I think they're doing real well.
I'm definitely very afraid of oversaturation.
Yeah.
Nah. No, I don't think so. I love it. Keep them up.
I mean,
playing the fiddle as Rome Burns.
I mean, let's face it. You know, Howard the Duck came out with a movie, and you didn't see another superhero movie for like 20 years.
There's a reason for that.
I know.
Yeah, think about that. Marvel made one of the greatest cinematic universe in history, but started with Howard the Duck.
Right.
It's just funny that at that time, when the only thing that I believe you had was Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That your next decision of movie. Okay, so we want to capitalize on Superman, DC Superman, Christopher Reeve as the pinnacle Superman. I have the best idea. Let's do Howard the Duck.
As the guy that suggested Captain America shot himself in the head. No. Who do you follow up Superman with? Captain America. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer.
Well, Howard the Duck, obviously.
Dummies. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And George Lucas was behind that, too.
I know. With Play Duck. The movie about bestiality.
Okay, let's move on. Family-friendly show.
Okay, I kind of vomit. Okay, yeah, let's completely move on. We're going to go on to the main event.
Now it's time for the main event.
Okay, for today's main event, we're going to do a top 5 list. I know you guys have never heard us do a top 5 list before, but I figured let's switch up a little bit. We're going to do a top 5 list of our favorite anti-heroes in all of media. So we are not just talking
DC
comic
and Marvel.
books.
Or Image.
A lot of this will stay in the comics because we're comic book people, but we literally hit everywhere.
Right. And I'll also say that I don't think any of us picked the Punisher because it's so obvious.
It's obvious.
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, Frank Castle could be considered the anti-hero.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
And I got to be honest with you, I'm not a big Punisher fan at all.
I'm not.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not really either, but I'll tell you, I always like the Punisher when he guest stars in other titles.
Yeah.
The Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon stuff is brilliant.
Yeah.
That's the only Punisher you need to read.
Right. But when the Punisher is soloing and it's like he's gunning down more bad guys. He's gunning down more bad guys. He's gunning down more bad. It just kind of gets
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right.
Okay, so my number 5 is I'm going out of the out of one geek world into another one. I'm talking Stone Cold Steve Austin. Well, you know what? I mean, he is in wrestling the anti-hero. He's who everybody wants to be. He doesn't really have a line. You trust him about as far as you throw him, but you like him when he's on your side.
Right. The Texas rattlesnake.
Texas rattlesnake. Don't trust anybody. Give me a beer. Give me a beer. He's a really fun example of an anti-hero in a different medium.
He kind of, not that there weren't wrestling anti-heroes before him and after, but he kind of set the bar.
Yeah.
Like if you couldn't live up to that, if you couldn't be him or say The Rock, then you had no business trying to be an anti-hero in wrestling.
Yeah. Well, because he was just so different.
Right.
With the whole double turn with him and
yeah.
Bret Hart. That was actually what made him an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Because he didn't change who he was. He didn't change the way he acted when he was a bad guy. Everyone decided to cheer him now. I'm like,
right.
Cool.
Yep.
And that is a really good definition of he's a bad guy that people like.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really, like Freddy Krueger now. It's a guy that he's a bad guy, but people love him. So is he an anti-theory? Maybe.
Yeah. Steve Austin, I agree. Freddy Krueger, I'm not going to go there.
Okay. K-Brew?
Okay, my number 5 is the comedian.
Outstanding.
From The Watchmen.
From The Watchmen, yes.
That he is... I have trouble calling him an anti-hero, though, because he just is pure evil. Did he do good things?
Yeah,
absolutely.
see, that's, I think, why K-Brew is correct, because the dude is an outright villain, no doubt about it.
He's a rapist.
But his association in the group and the good that the group did by proxy.
He was the sandpaper in the group.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would never have been outlawed and all that other stuff.
Right.
Because I think he had most everything to do with it.
Right. But what a despicable character, man. Yeah. But a good call, K-Brew.
But unfortunately, you love him when you're reading him too. You hate him, but you're like...
No, I actually never loved him. I was glad to see him get tossed out of the building.
That's in the first 2 minutes.
But as soon as you learned about who he was, it was like, yes, I'm so glad.
Again, like the whole like the American dream, like when he was talking about that, was like, wow, that is a pretty heavy.
Yeah.
It's like he understood the joke of everything.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? And I really think that it was kind of like he was kind of embodying that whole.
Yeah.
He was what the Joker would be.
If he wasn't sociopathic.
If the Joker became a hero.
Yeah.
It's almost what the Joker would be in some ways.
Yeah.
Totally cool.
Hey, so while we're talking, I'm changing one of my guys.
Okay.
Because I just had a fit of inspiration. So
a fit. I saw it happen to it, twitching and his pulsing.
It was like Shazam came down and there was lightning everywhere.
Yeah, I think you guys may like this, may not, but we'll
okay. It's really scary.
Wow, I'm a little frightened now. PB, what's your number 5?
Number 5 is The Doctor.
Doctor. Oh, no, we don't make that joke. Come on now.
Because the Doctor lies.
Yes.
The Doctor kills, steals, cheats.
Yep.
Does anything.
He has no moral code.
He has but that's why he's not a villain.
Yeah.
That's why he's not the master. Mm-hmm. Because he does have a moral code. It's just... And he does care for his companions most of the time. But he
tell that to Mickey.
Well, again, I'm saying that's why I consider him a definite anti-hero.
Yeah.
Because heroism results from his actions sometimes. Mm-hmm. A lot of the time, not all the time, but definitely our Gallifreyan Time Lord is an anti-hero.
Fair enough. I don't know if I like to admit it, but it was on my honorable mentions too. But because I don't want to think of him as anything but a hero, and I think that's part of what makes him the anti-hero. Otherwise, he would be a villain if he wasn't so lovable.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, he does horrible things to his companions. He gets sick of them. He leaves them on a planet. Maybe I'll come back.
Yes.
I mean, you can't.
The Doctor lies
a lot. The Doctor never carries a gun. I've seen him shoot 20 times.
You don't get bad wolf attached to your reputation if you're a good guy.
Ugh. Okay, so my number 4, coming from what you were just talking about, is Rorschach.
Right.
Who is almost a mirror image of the comedian. He does bad things to bad people.
Well, the difference is that Rorschach is the Joker described one bad day.
Yeah.
Because Walter Kovacs, as the Rorschach originally, was much more of a good guy. Mm-hmm. But it was the things that he saw.
Yeah.
That pushed him over the edge.
And who's to say that every one of us wouldn't have the same thing happen?
Right. The one bad day.
What I do like is he's got such a strict moral code.
Yeah.
Absolute
black and white.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I really dig that. I mean, I wish I wish I could be more black and white. You know what I'm saying? There's so many shades of gray, but it's like one of those I can everything that he's done, you can kind of justify it. I think, and maybe that's what
absolutely. Well, he's definitely has a morality that we all have, but he just takes it to a different degree.
Right.
I think you catch somebody that kills kids, you kill them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. There's no jury, and kind of that's it says bad things about yourself when you're reading this book. I'm like, yeah, I totally get that. You don't want to say that you get it, but you get it.
And
that makes a great
He's a
here.
creation of evil and sadness. That's the thing that makes it so rich,
Yeah.
and dimensional. He's he's my favorite character out of Watchmen for sure.
Yeah. And if you ever read read The Question, who's a watered down DC version of him, he's pretty interesting too.
Yeah, we determined a long time ago that he's inspired by The Question,
yes.
Rorschach.
Or vice versa, one of the two.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, Brew?
Okay, my number 4?
Yeah, is this the one you changed?
No.
Okay, I'm getting excited for this. So
No.
Just to let the anticipation build.
Yeah, no, I changed number 3. Severus Snape.
Ooh.
Potter.
Yes. Because he is such you hate him through the whole thing
Until the very last 10 minutes.
Yeah. But I always felt reading the books, and PB&J actually turned me onto the books, and I was like, it's like something that
we bonded over for sure.
Okay, hold on. Let me just say this real quick.
Sure.
You'll read Harry Potter as an adult, but you won't watch Batman the Animated Series as an adult? I'm just saying. Go ahead.
I'm making excuses. I'm trying to make some kind of flimsy excuse for Batman the Animated Series for not watching it. I will watch it.
Okay, we got this on tape, so just so you know.
Right.
Okay.
To me, Snape is a very, very complex, probably the most complex character in the whole Harry Potter universe.
A super good call, too. Mm-hmm. I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
absolute anti-hero to the T.
Yeah, I wish I would have put him in.
See? Burr, burr, burr.
Now he's proud of himself. Oh, boy.
Yeah, well,
That and I won the 33-66, so yeah.
Right. It's a good day.
And they always gave you clues, though, even from the very first book.
That's what I'm saying.
When he was doing the counter chant to keep Harry from falling off the broom.
Right.
During the Quidditch game. You knew there was something. It's like, he's so nasty to Harry, so evil. I mean, flat out evil character in so many ways.
Right.
But there was always something.
Like, yeah. I mean, she did telegraph Snape a little bit more than I think she could have. I mean, you know what I'm talking about?
Until, should I say spoiler in case you haven't read Harry Potter?
If you haven't read Harry Potter by now,
in case you haven't read or watched Harry Potter. Okay? Are you ready? Okay.
Sure.
Definitely didn't telegraph him killing Dumbledore.
No.
Everybody knows about that one, yeah.
Right. Yeah. But that was
But again,
pretty
that was something that he had to do.
Well, we found that out later.
Right.
But at the time, even though you probably suspected it due to everything first, it still came as like, oh my God, he really did that.
But he did it so Malfoy didn't have to do it.
Again, we realized that later.
Right.
But not at the time.
Right.
At the first reading, it was shocking.
Yep.
All right. Very good. My number 4, I don't know, I can't even capitalize it. That was so good. But Garth Ennis's comic series, The Hitman.
Yeah.
Tommy Monahan, who's sort of in the realm of the Punisher. There's similarities, but he's a vaguely mildly superpowered hitman who kills mob bosses.
So is he kind of in the vein of Preacher without all the supernatural?
No, he's kind of in the vein of the Punisher with less insanity.
Okay.
And a little bit more like
justification.
He truly believes that he's doing good.
So justification.
He honestly think he would if he were to call himself a hero, he could do that.
Yeah.
And he absolutely like loves Superman. In DC, he thinks Superman is like the absolute pinnacle of everything heroic.
Yeah.
And wants to be like that if he could be, even though he knows he's not. But it's he's a very interesting character. If you
kind of like the one guy from The Incredibles. He wants to be Mr. Incredible or whatever.
Oh,
Syndrome. Yeah.
No, not as Syndrome was.
That's nuts. He was nuts.
But I would recommend finding the graphic novels for The Hitman by Garth Ennis. Very well written, very cool character.
And we are going to be doing him as a character,
and
where we
mentioned Lobo kicked Superman in the sack.
That was him.
Hitman barfed on Batman's boots.
Sweet.
That's amazing.
Yes. On purpose.
This sounds like something that could be in The Boys.
Yep, he did it on purpose because he can't stand Batman.
Because Batman and Superman have that rivalry going.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so my
the ultimate fanboy move. Sorry.
My number 3, and this is gonna be really short because we can't do spoilers. But 11 from Stranger Things.
She's an anti-hero. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
And
okay.
8. Just yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good. If you haven't watched Stranger Things, what are you doing with your life?
I'm too into the new series.
I'm
just
on
finished today.
I'm on episode 8.
Yeah.
In the new series or
the new series?
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen the old one. Yeah.
Just honestly, just the more I looked at her, just a very, very, very interesting character.
Oh yeah.
Just so layered, and the layers is what makes her the anti-hero.
Sure.
Because she could definitely go either way.
Yes, she could.
Okay. Yes, I know. Okay, so go ahead, Gabriel.
Okay, this is when I changed.
Trouble.
This is when I changed.
Okay.
Do you want to tell you who I changed it from?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, honorable mention, Judge Dredd.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll talk about him in a minute. Snake Plissken.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like,
good call.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, again,
Kurt Russell, man.
Yeah.
Escape from.
Did you like New York or L.A. better?
New York.
I liked L.A.
I thought L.A. was
a little cheesier, but I liked it.
Yeah, the effects bothered me, but
I don't think I've seen L.A.
Oh, just watch it, just for the cheese factor.
Yeah, the cheese factor is awesome. But you know what? Seriously, I ran around for a whole summer playing Snake Plissken.
Last summer, I remember.
And
last summer.
He was 40 at the time.
Right. Like, hey, guys.
Did you wear a patch?
No, but I mean,
Snake Plissken.
But again, talk about a culture shock. When I saw Escape from New York as a young kid, the last thing I remember Kurt Russell being in was like the World's Strongest Boy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow!
All the Disney stuff. You know, because they were all, like.
You are old. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, I think he epitomizes like the reluctant anti-hero because he just did not want to even be there.
No,
and he always. He
comes through in the pinch.
Yeah, but didn't he?
Then he would mess over everybody.
In another way, though, didn't he do it again as Jack Burton?
Jack Burton, I read an interesting thing because I was researching this. Jack Burton wasn't even a hero; he was a sidekick through the whole thing.
Yeah,
he never really did anything.
No, he didn't.
He was like me
from Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
He's like me. He just has smart aleck comments and really doesn't do anything.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, that's true. Now that you mentioned it, that's true.
Tia Carrere.
All right, my number 3, someone we've talked about before. Al Simmons, Spawn.
Absolutely. I just if you have Comixology and you have their Prime service, they have the omnibus of like the first 1,000 issues for free to borrow.
Oh wow!
So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Right.
Oh,
so
Spawn's so amazing.
Yeah, a character
he got
that
too deep.
He's a demon, basically a demon.
Kinda.
Yeah.
But that humanity
the leader of the supposed to be the demon leader, the leader of the demon army,
yeah,
against heaven.
But his humanity comes through, yeah.
But his humanity love for his family, love for his wife.
Ruins it all.
Which is why he, again, has a moral code. Very loose one, but he has a moral code.
Yeah.
Anti-hero, not villain.
And let me piggyback back so that I don't have to use up a pick on this. Hellboy, you kind of put on that same, I think would be a great anti-hero.
I honestly think he's just a flat-out hero.
He's a demon.
He's a demon, but he
is a literal demon.
But he was raised from infancy or whatever, larval stage or whatever you want to say, by the good guys.
But he's definitely conflicted.
Maybe when he got older a little bit, but I don't know. He always held that good guy code pretty strong.
Yeah. I would say, but but again, I
just want to piggyback.
I would go more with Etrigan if you want to take a demon that's an anti-hero.
Yeah, I guess that would be because that's definitely conflicted because he is both.
Yes.
Okay, so my number 2 I changed. Thank you, Gabriel, to Doc Holliday. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Let's talk the Tombstone version for just
right.
Fantastic anti-hero. He's a card cheat. He's
a lunger.
Scum. He's a lunger. He lies about everything.
No, I don't think
he kills people.
I don't know if he because his hypocrisy will only go so far. I don't think he lies about. I don't think.
Well, I don't think he lies to his friend.
Right. No, because I think he's enough of a
stand-up guy.
He is a straight-up guy.
Yeah. But he's a card cheat, and that makes you kind of bad.
Well, yeah. But like Johnny Ringo, it's kind of like that whole that's like kind of the difference between like the anti-hero and the villain. Mm-hmm. Johnny Ringo, he's
a villain. Yeah,
he is definitely a villain. But yeah, that is like a really good call because Val Kilmer did such a
yes, he did.
Wow,
I thought I'd blow you all the way on that.
Yeah,
good job.
That was good. That was good.
Okay, number 2, sir.
Roland Deschain of Gilead.
Yes, I would agree.
Right.
I'm not familiar with that. What is that?
Dark Tower.
Dark Tower.
Oh, okay.
Roland.
I'm about to watch the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Read the books.
Right.
I got all the comic books.
Okay. The comics are a good representation of Roland.
Right. I did see the Dark Tower. I did think it was entertaining. If you take it out of Dark Tower
if you took every aspect of the Dark Tower and removed it, and then made this really quick movie where you took elements of it and
make it confusing.
Made a confusing sort of movie.
So you're saying I'm not going to like it? Or actually, considering how much you don't like it, I'll probably love it.
No,
I got through it. It's
not bad, and I love Idris Elba as an actor. I don't know if he was the Roland.
I just can't call that the Dark Tower. It's like it was a movie that sort of resembled the Dark Tower.
Yeah.
But what'll be nice is that I haven't read it. I'm not going to be taking all that baggage in with me. Maybe I'll enjoy it.
True. Yeah, totally. But
Roland fits that to a T because Roland has a definite moral code, but
that he crosses.
But he'll cross it all the time.
All the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep. To do what he needs to do in his quest.
Yeah.
He's a gunslinger, right?
The gunslinger.
He's a lot like Batman if Batman were to go over the line.
Right.
In a lot of ways.
Yes.
Agreed.
Jason?
My number 2 is the Saint of Killers from the comic.
How do you call him an anti-hero?
Don't even mention the show to me, okay? Because, he started in his first arc as an absolute villain. Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. But when you learn about his origin story, when you learn about the person that he was, the person that he tried to be after the Civil War, the person that fell in love with the woman and had a child.
And had one bad day.
And accidentally murdered the girl in the town when he went to take vengeance on those that led to his family's death. Mm-hmm. And went to hell and became the angel of death and killed the devil and came back and was tricked into going after the preacher. Mm-hmm. But when he realized that he was tricked, he shifted his focus to go after, in the story, God, who created the ultimate ruse. Mm-hmm. And thus ended up committing the act in the end that was heroic, in a sense, and helped set things right.
So I love Punisher, but I do not... Preacher, but I do not see him as an anti-hero.
So you were worried about spoiler alert for Harry Potter, and then you just kind of gave away the whole plot line of Preacher.
We've been talking about Preacher for so long.
We mentioned Preacher
if you haven't read Preacher by this point, you're not going to.
And I'm not going to mention the way they've portrayed him on the show because it's incorrect. They just made him a psycho villain. But I could see why it's debatable, but I see him as he eventually evolved into an anti-hero.
No, I mean, if you have the choice, I'd put Jesse as in fact, he's one of my honorable mentions, as the anti-hero from that more so than...
See, I think Jesse...
Even Cassidy is more of an anti-hero.
I think Jesse in the comics is black and white the way Rorschach is without being insane.
Mm-hmm. But that would make him an anti-hero.
No, I think Jesse's a hero, straight up.
He robs banks.
Yeah.
No, in the
he's a horse thief. There's few things worse on the planet than being a horse thief.
In the comics?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
I guess he is.
I gotta just to touch back on an earlier point we made.
Okay.
And this is kind of jumping back. We did say that a hero can an a villain become a hero? Mm-hmm. And I didn't bring up this point for Severus Snape, but I think that was the example of a villain becoming a hero.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
With redemption.
Now, what's hard with him, though, was he really a villain because he had to play a role?
No, because he willingly joined the Death Eaters.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to. But
that's good.
To tie in
that's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, very good.
Okay.
So anyway, I said Santa Killers. We're on number one.
Okay. No. Well, before we do our number ones, as always, we're going to do our honorable mentions. Yes. I'm just going to go through mine real quick. You can say if you disagree when I finish. Sandman, Preacher, Punisher, Deadpool, Vampirella, and every single character from The Boys. And if you haven't read The Boys, you really
I just don't agree with
really
Jesse
should.
Custer.
That's fair enough.
I just think he's a hero, but that's okay.
Okay, my honorable mentions are Tyler Durden, William.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you. William Money from The Unforgiven. It was a toss up between him and my number one.
Mm-hmm. Who the Saint of Killers is inspired by the way.
Han Solo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, obvious choice. That's
it's too obvious.
Dirty Harry Callahan.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Tom Stahl, Joey Cusack from what do you call it? Of History of Violence.
Okay.
And Judge Dredd.
Oh,
nice.
Let me throw in one more. Just I thought of it. Is Gross? What's it from the guy from Gross Point Blank? The John Cusack character.
Yeah.
Oh, Martin Blank.
Martin Blank. That I would definitely call him my favorite anti-hero ever.
Yeah, actually,
I can't believe I forgot that because that's
yeah.
It's outside the box.
It's a great movie too.
Yeah, I mean he's a hitman. Movie. He's a bad person. Yeah. He has a certain moral code.
Right. Like you said, if I came after you, you did some really bad stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So my honorable mentions: Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
Sam and Dean Winchester from Supernatural.
Really?
Yes. I think. Well,
okay.
they've gone through some shady paths to achieve what they needed to achieve, and they've left some bodies behind them.
Okay, Katie, this is for you.
That's okay, she can agree
if you don't agree or disagree, please put this on Facebook.
I consider them to walk the anti-hero path.
Okay,
definitely.
I just want to see if
Katie,
our supernatural contingent.
I'd be interested in her opinion on that. Sure. Venom, as we mentioned,
mm-hmm.
From the show Alias. I don't know if you guys ever watched that.
No.
Victor Garber's character of Jack Bristow, who was Sidney Bristow, Jennifer Garner's father. Very much enmeshed in the villainous aspect of things. Mm-hmm. Definitely took some real questionable courses, but overall his intentions were heroic.
Okay,
for sure. Alias. If you haven't watched that show, check it out. J.J. Abrams show. Worst thing from several years ago. And Wolverine.
Nice. I just didn't put Wolverine because I figured everyone would have him.
Yeah, I almost made my list, but I'm like,
So my number one changed like literally 20 seconds ago. It was Lobo, which is we've discussed earlier, but because
Sheriff Lobo.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, just had to.
But because we've discussed him to death, I wanted to throw in another anti-hero that I can't believe that we all forgot: Ash from The Evil Dead.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, definitely immoral, but
yeah.
God, I love the guy.
Yeah,
no doubt.
He does the right thing-ish,
Yes.
Bruce Campbell
maybe not right.
Wrong,
but yeah, speaking
a
outside
king,
of the
baby.
backs.
yeah.
I'm the king,
He's
baby.
Bubba Hotep.
Oh man, that's just pillow talk. Okay, go ahead with your number one, sir.
Josie Wales from the Outlaw.
The Outlaw Josie Wales.
Yeah, because again, to me, like, talk about having a bad day,
Right.
and then just being on like the warpath and again, like a moral code. I mean, vengeance drove his whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, was the Saint Killers after Josie Wales or after William Money?
William Money was a direct inspiration.
Right. 'Cause
Yes.
that was, again, great character, but Josie Wales was just like, it was a toss-up between those two. It's like my number one.
Yeah.
I just went with Josie Wales just because he had more of a lasting impact on me, as far as like, wow, that guy is just so, and just a great movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Very nice.
Number
I have
one,
a feeling
sir.
my number one might be controversial.
Really?
But with that look you gave me, I'm curious.
It's possible. Some are going to probably staunchly disagree.
Mm-hmm.
But I
disagree.
Yeah.
I just want to throw it in first.
I think that Dr. Indiana Jones
I don't
is
see it.
an anti-hero.
No.
You'll call him Dr. Jones.
Well, maybe because he's a little racist, I guess.
No.
Because he owns a young Oriental boy.
Methodology.
No, he's a grave robber. Really.
Methodology.
I mean, he's a grave robber.
And he kills without compunction. Granted, it's not just anybody.
Right.
It's those that are after him.
It's self-defense.
But I'll tell you what. The anti-hero is in his classic, most funniest scene. When that guy does the swords.
Yeah.
And he just blows him away.
Right, yeah.
That is anti-hero.
You know what? He's an anti-hero with heroic tendencies.
He's sure.
Yeah.
I have trouble buying it.
But
I hear what you're saying, but I'm having a little trouble calling that.
The whole thing is like they're stealing artifacts.
Right.
So yeah, I would
and the level of violence that he commits inside his archaeology.
That's an interesting. I would have not thought of that, but
yeah.
I will give that to PB&J. I think that is a very good choice.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
Yes.
So we can say this together. Dub, you're wrong.
I think there's going to be a lot of people that'll agree with me.
I'd be interested. Actually,
I don't want to say you're wrong because you bring up some very valid points, but I just see the black and white of Indy that I have trouble calling.
Well, he left Mary. You know what? He left Mary and like, was he dating her when she was like 14?
Yeah,
okay,
right.
That changes everything.
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean,
and just a caveat on something Cabrew mentioned earlier. I have the same struggle when it comes to Han Solo because he was a criminal, no doubt.
Right.
Involved in smuggling.
you know what? Yeah. Go ahead.
He was a criminal involved in smuggling. He did kill. Different from Indiana Jones. I think Indiana Jones relished it a little more than Han Solo did. Han Solo did it absolutely when it was necessary. Right. In defense of himself,
Han would do it because he enjoyed it,
or when Greedo was going to take him,
right? Which I completely understood that he was getting ready to shoot, and then Han Solo had to get him.
Yeah,
when I was 7 years old.
Right.
So anyway.
But in so many ways, I see Han Solo as having like the absolute pure heart of a hero, just very reluctant to express it.
You know what? Though that would actually be another case to be made for a villain becoming a hero.
True.
Okay.
True.
That's a good one.
Because he was, he was hanging out in the wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Yes, he was. Hanging out with some serious bad dudes.
Right, as smuggler and, involved in the wrong people. And again, no compunction about killing.
Right.
Nice. Outstanding. Wow, I don't want to end the show, but we have to. So I guess I'll give them our normal thing. Actually, before we do that, Jason, talk about our partner show we have here for you guys.
Oh, us. Me and him.
Did you do honorable mentions?
Yes, I did.
You did?
I mentioned, I sure did.
Okay.
The whole thing about Sam and Dean and all that.
Right. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I like when Jason talks, sometimes just
doesn't even ignore it, tune it out. Right.
That's hard to podcast then.
Right. Thank you for this dub, allowing us to continue to push our new show, Cabrew and I's new show, the Recorded Deconstruction Podcast. where we analyze and hyper break down and do all kinds of stuff with music.
All AC/DC songs, all the time.
AC/DC.
All AC/DC all the time.
Right.
No, we analyze a bunch of different topics, different subjects. Have a lot of fun.
It's kind of morphing a little bit. It's cool.
It's morphing.
Yeah.
It's the Mighty Morphing
I dig it.
show. Yes. Right. And it's kind of funny because him and I are such geeks that still bleeds into the show. It can't.
Well, it should.
Kind of can't be helped.
Right.
Well, music and all that other stuff always bleeds into this show. That's how true. It should be.
Yes.
Right.
Because this is very much our personalities turned up a little bit.
And stay tuned to our show because we're going to have a guest soon. This bald guy over here.
Oh boy,
we're gonna bring him on,
and I don't have to. Okay, stop, guys. Let's move on to the next thing. I don't have to do that even once, right?
right. No, you just come in and talk about who you're going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Exactly.
And then respond.
It's all multiverse.
Right.
And how country is the greatest music ever made, and that old 3/5 bass line.
Right. I'm all about it.
Sweet.
Okay, so if you want to go to check out all the links for our show, it's at www.iheartgeekshow.com. Use the com. We did pay extra for it. If you want to go to our Twitter at iHeartGeekShow. And I think that's about it for now. Big news coming soon. Until next time, I'm Dub.
I'm K-Brew.
I'm PB&Jason, and you guys get to say,
keep on geeking on.
Good job.
You've been listening to iHeartGeek. Our Twitter account is at iHeartGeekShow. Hope you enjoyed the show.